State Senator Becky Massey snuck in while the presentation was going on, so say hello to her. Okay, there's, I guess, about 25 questions or so. The first has to do with reading meters, and it's like, what is the calibration schedule for meters? Are they monitored wirelessly? Do you still read meters manually?
We still read some of the meters manually. We do read them wirelessly, so like I said earlier, we do drive down the road and read those meters. We check calibration. We don't check them all. We pull test sets, and we'll actually have a device that we put them in, and we'll test those meters to see if what their accuracy is, and we'll pull several hundred of those each year as a sample set based upon what an AWWA says.
These two are somewhat related. Why is sewer more in price than water? And why do we pay a sewer charge on all water, red? We even pay sewer for outdoor water uses like gardens, pools, car washing, etc.
Yeah, it's a good question. Of course, one of the things, sewer's dirty. It's, you flush it, you put it down the drain, use garbage disposals. We got to put it back into Beaver Creek. So it takes a lot of chemicals, manpower, and energy to get sewer clean. So sewer definitely costs more than water. It costs more to move it along. And like I said earlier, we can meter sewer, but it's very expensive meters. So what the district's board has done is they've offered a summer savings program, which is an averaging. So we don't know how much goes on your lawn through the summer and the gardens and washing things. The only way to do that would be to actually meter the sewer line systems. Like I said, by looking at some of that smoke test footage, some of these people would be paying more than what the water bill would be because their lines are leaking.
This is actually my question. According to, I think it was last year's audit, you may know this, I'm sorry, I stepped on it out. You guys lost 47.3% of your water before it actually got to the consumer. What are your plans on dealing with that? And how does that roll into the price that any of us pay for water as the huge amount of leakage that's going on?
Yes, that plays a major role, and that's kind of why rates. We've done a lot of water projects over the years. We understand we still have a large water loss problem. So what he's talking about there, when we say water loss, that's when we pump water out of the plant and we read the meters, you subtract those two numbers, what he was saying is over 40%. Some of that's through water quality flushing. We were able to look at other numbers on that, but we still have a large problem out there, and we're trying to address that. And a lot of it's leaky pipes. And you can imagine over 600 miles of pipes out there that we have to figure out underground where these leaks are at. So our little leaks, big leaks, they all add up.
Why have my bills gone up during months when there is no one home because of vacations?
Yeah, that's a good question. We get a lot of calls on that. We don't know when you're gone on vacation. Some people may think we're Big Brother. We're not. We don't know when people are coming and going. Now, when you tell us and call us, sometimes we're able to get some information off your meter and tell you, hey, it looks like you were gone during this time. Everybody's habits and uses are different. I would encourage you to look, when you're looking at bills, look at the usage and not the dollar amounts. Make sure the first thing we're going to do is to see if that split two different bills. So did it split? It was part of the usage in one bill, so the vacation, and part in another. So it may not have looked like you had that full week. So that's something we would look at. So we would look at a lot of things. We encourage people to call us if they see something like that. Just give us a call. We'll investigate and try to figure out if there's a problem there. We've seen people that's had people visit their homes while they're gone. They flush the toilet, walk out, the toilet's hung up. And how we know this is this meter tells us this after we pull the data out of it. So we are able to see some of these things occur. And a lot of times when you get home for vacation, if you're like me, I got, bringing my dog back home, getting my car washed, washing my car, cleaning the sand cleaning buckets, cleaning clothes, I'm throwing more in the washer. Well, I'm not, my wife is. So she's washing more clothes, she's getting everything, she's getting the house back in order, right? So everything's happening. So you'll use water out of habit and not really realize you're doing it.
I guess a follow-up to that is, when is your building cycle? What days to what days?
Well, everybody's building cycle, you gotta see, we read over 30,000 meters out there. So we schedule 11 different building cycles through the month. So we're building about 2 to 3 times each week. So not everybody's meter's read at the same time, but we will typically read within a 2 to 3 day window each month, depending on weather, what's going on. So we're gonna be within that window each month reading the meters, but not everybody's meter's read at the same time.
Would there be value, and this might be a question for state reps here, but would there be a value to expanding the board to 5 people?
Yeah, I mean, you would get, you definitely get more representation. But I think I would check, yeah, I believe you would get a little more representation, but I mean, you're representing the whole, Powell and Halls with one district commissioner. So we've actually got more commissioners representing these people than you do representing your whole entire Powell and Halls community. So you got one district, you got one county commissioner. And you would have to change some regulations and laws to be able to do that, I believe. That's probably more of a, yeah.
I guess a follow-up to that as well is what all goes into being a commissioner. I mean, there's some things they have to know, correct? And they can also be legally liable for fiduciary responsibilities, am I correct?
Yeah, that's correct. They hold a fiduciary responsibility, unlike a lot of positions through government. They hold fiduciary. Now, what's that mean? It means they're tied to the decisions they make. So, if they don't make the right decisions, wrong decisions, it has ramifications and penalties and things of that nature. So they have, what was the other part of that?
What do they have to learn?
What do they have to learn? Yeah. Training required, they have to do 12 hours of training every 3 years. So when the district commissioner first comes in, the first thing they have to do this is law, folks. They have to go to 12 hours of training. And then they have training every 3 years of 12 hours to basically learn what their responsibilities are, because they do carry fiduciary roles.
And these two are related as well. I'm a single person and my bill is higher or the same most times as my neighbors. I change nothing while there's minimal why. And then how do you justify $30 to $40 fluctuations monthly on bills?
There again, I think it's human habits. Everybody's habits are different. Like when I shave, I use water, I let it run. I know men that shave with electric graders. I know men that don't shave at all. Some people let run a little pot of water and then they run the razor out there. Some people let the water run when they brush their teeth, and some don't. Some people wash multiple loads of clothes instead of large clothes. So there's a lot of reasons in human habits of what we do. And the other thing you got to think about is all of our homes were built at different times. So fixtures, like in my bathroom, I've got 2 fixtures. One of them is 1998, one of them is I put in about 5 years ago. And the one that's put in 5 years ago doesn't put out as much water as the 1998 model. So they've made fixtures, shower heads, faucets, and things of that nature more efficient. So you turn them on, you're only going to get a certain amount of flow no matter what, because it's only going to allow that out. So it's a habit changing. I think it's really hard to explain. We really delve off into it. So if you have those issues, call, go take a look, come out, and we'll try to help you the best we can.
Why are rates so much higher than surrounding utilities? And why does the water cost? Actually, I'll let you answer that first because that was on the
So we went over a little bit of that in the slides, and so I'm not going to recapture all that again. I don't think is each one of us is different. How we operate may be a little different. How we do things, but the conditions of our systems are different. We are under a consent order. Others may not be under a consent order. Our leakage is probably worse than others. So if you look at those same same reports and numbers. Our leakage is higher. So we have to do more work to keep up with the demands that's put forth by our system.
And the other question is, why does the water cause deposits of minerals on my faucets?
So we live in an area, East Tennessee, on good old limestone. Limestone is a mineral, and other minerals are in your water. So we take this straight out of the lake. Now, we don't soften the water. We don't do any additives to the water. So the minerals that are in that water, it's calcium deposits, things of that nature, is from our karst photography here, our rock, and it's mineral water. So if you go to Florida, you're wondering, well, the water there's soft, right? It's because it's a sandy soil that don't have the minerals in it like we do here in East Tennessee. So we don't soften water, we don't take those out. And so as it gets in your home and sets, the hot water heater will change the characteristics of the water. So that's where a lot of your calcium deposits are coming from, your minerals are switching over and calcifying, things of that nature, just because we do have hard water. Now, can we soften the water? Yes. It takes a little bit more to do that. We'd have to add equipment, and we'd have to manage that equipment and all those kind of things. And really nobody in this area is doing anything on hardness at this time.
We all know that high water bills are a concern, but the poor water quality is also a concern of modeling. Many utilities are removing harmful chemicals like fluoride. I know many people here who approve that nature. And we started a discussion on the health concerns and possible removal of this toxic byproduct of sulfuric acid.
Yeah, fluoride's been a big topic for a number of years. As far as from Hallsdale Powell standard, we take kind of the state and EPA lead on that. So we do dose at a very low dosage on fluoride. And where that kind of came from was the American Dental Association had done studies years ago, and children especially were having a lot of problems with tooth decay. And that became more prevalent in rural areas where there wasn't public water. So those studies, they're dated. EPA is doing studies and other people are doing studies. That process to remove fluoride in this area, because most everyone in the local area is fluoridating. They're putting fluoride in the water. We had one utility in an adjacent county, they did just that. They took it out, and within a few months, they had really messed up. They didn't follow some procedures, and they had to put it back in. They were forced to put the fluoride in. So we do dose at a low level on fluoridation. We're just kind of waiting to see kind of what the EPA and CDC and those agencies have to say about it. And I think we're kind of neutral. There is some processes in place that can be done to start that. It's very, I think, legal and time consuming if somebody goes down that road, but I think we're kind of neutral in that aspect.
This question is from a person who lives on Collier Road. The water line out there the past year has broken multiple times, and of course that causes inconvenience to everyone out there. Could you please advise when the new line will be installed?
Yeah, Collier Road, if I remember correctly, it's in Deep Powell right down here. And this gets back to aging water pipes. That's a 4-inch concrete type pipe that runs down Collier Road. I believe that pipe last year probably broke over 12 times, and sometimes we would fix it, and then call us back and say, guess what? Oh, it broke again. So we turn right back around and go down there and fix it. So this line had just rested its life. It was put in the 60s, and it had rested its useful life, and it just gave up. Kind of like your car. Your tire blows out. You've got to change tires every once in a while. We've got to put a new roof on the home. All these things have wear and tear on them. So Collier Road, glad to say that we have a project under contract, and we'll be starting soon to replace that line on Collier Road. And that caused a lot of disruption and outages up through there. We got a lot of calls from those folks. And so we tracked that through our work order management system, and we knew it was kind of coming. And so we've got a project in place now to replace that.
Why was service extended to Union County?
Service went into Union County, it's a misconception in the 90s. A lot of people don't know that, but we were in Union County in the 90s. We were in Anderson County in the 60s, 50s. A lot of people don't know that Hallsdale Powell was approached by the state agency and Union County School Board. Like I said, we were already fairly close up in Union County. So Little Big Ridge Elementary School, not near the size schools we have down here, was about to get shut down. They had E. coli in their water, fecal. Their water was contaminated. These kids were drinking out of fountains, and they went in there and tested this water and said, "Oh, you can't drink out of water fountains no more, and we'll have to look at if you can wash your hands or not." And this is true, guys. These counties stepped up and said, "Let's apply for some grant money to go to the school." So the first project went to Big Ridge Elementary School, and then later on, Little Sharps Chapel basically had problems too. I remember going up there in the early 2000s, and they had tape across the water fountains, and kids couldn't drink water out of the water fountains. There again, ARC grants were applied for through the county. Water was purchased from actually an adjacent county, Claiborne Utility. Water was purchased from them. They were willing to work with the county agency in Hallsdale Powell, and we extended into that area. Like I said earlier in the slide, being in a poverty area like that gave you a discounted rates too on borrowing money that we needed to borrow anyway.